Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. We are Group 2 and we are from English Education 1 2018. In this video, we will explain about reviewing objectives, evaluating strategies, collecting and analyzing data. But before we start, let us introduce our member, which are Juita Sari PD, Khoiriah Liska N, Lasmi Utami, Nabila Qurrotaaini, and Nabila Ramadani. Well, the first part will handled by Khoiriah Liska N.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Khoiriah Liska N, and now I'm going to tell about reviewing. So, what is reviewing? Reviewing is learning from experience or enabling others to do so. And reviewing helps you get more from work or life. And another definition of reviewing is any process that helps you to make use of personal experience for your learning and development. Okay, the next slide, it's about the term of reviewing. So in reviewing, there are two ways. The first, reviewing is learning, and the second, reviewing is helping others to learn. Okay, the first way, reviewing is learning. It's the process of learning from experience itself. And this first sense is about what the learner does, and the second ways is reviewing is helping others to learn. It's the process of facilitating learning from experience for others. For example, by asking questions, giving feedback, or exploring alternative explanation. And this way is about what the facilitator does. Okay, next, it's about the reasons for reviewing. So there are 10 reasons for reviewing. The first reason for reviewing is adding value to the experience. The value gained from experiences depends very much on how experiences are reviewed. And reviewing is an opportunity to add value and meaning to experiences, however small or large, negative or positive they may be. And the second is getting unstuck. Without reviewing, groups and individuals can get stuck at a particular stage of development. And reviewing provides a range of strategies for moving beyond this stage and for getting the cycle of learning and development turning again. And the third is achieving objectives. Reviewing can help to clarify, achieve, measure, and celebrate objectives. And the fourth is opening new perspective. People may be in the habit of reviewing experience from their normal perspective. By also seeing an experience from the perspective of others, and by reviewing an experience, grow a variety of reviewing techniques. And people can escape from tunnel or normal vision and learn from the bigger picture. And the fifth is developing observation and awareness. The more involving an experience, the harder it is to observe what is happening. And reviewing can encourage observation, perception, and general awareness both during and after experiences. Okay, the reason number 6 is caring. By reviewing activities, we show that we care about what people experience, that we value what they have to say, and that we are interested in the process of each individual's learning and development. When people feel cared for, valued, and respected as individuals, they will be better learners. And number 7 is encouraging self-expression. It is not always easy to talk about experiences, so an imaginative and sensitive approach to reviewing can help people to find a medium, situation, symbols, or a question through which they can most readily express themselves. This is where the expressive and creative arts can be particularly helpful. And number 8 is using success. Focusing on success may be a strange experience if it is usually problems that are the focus of attention in reviews. And reviewing can help people to enjoy success, to understand how it happened, and to get accustomed to the idea that they can be successful. And number 9 is providing support. Reviewing can be a valuable safety net. Reviewing can be a valuable safety net, and the reassurance that support will be available in the event of failure encourages people to take risks. Encourages people to take risks of the kind what will be supported, and whether people experience failure or success, their causes can be analyzed so that they'll learn how to avoid failure or win from failure, and how to achieve a success. And the last reason is empowering people. Reviewing enhances people's ability to learn from individual or group experience. Improve learning ability together with increased confidence allows people to become more independent and more capable of self-development, and even of self-actualization. Self and others actualization may be a more suitable aspiration for those who acknowledge the mutually supportive nature much reviewing. So I think that's all for my material, and the next material will be presented by Juita Sari.
Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. Okay, I will continue the explanation from Khoiriah Liska N, but my explanation today is more focused on adjective. Okay, we will learn about learning adjective. Learning adjectives is what the teacher wants his or her student to know or to be able to do by the end of the lesson. Is there another name for learning adjective? Yes, there are sometimes called intended learning outcomes, student learning objective, or lesson objective. These names reminds us that the teacher's main concern in planning a lesson is to decide what she or he wants the students to know or be able to do at the end of this lesson. What's in a name? Okay, we write the names learning adjective, but sometimes we see the name lesson adjectives. This might describe what the teacher intends to do during the lesson, but it does not say what the student will learn. Why are learning objectives important? They are important for three main reasons. The first one, when planning and teaching a lesson, the teachers need to have a clear idea of what the students will know or be able to do at the end. And the second, the teacher needs to plan lesson, content, and activity to help students reach this intended outcome. And the last is the teacher needs to be able to assess how successfully students have reached the intended outcome. Learning objectives are important for lesson planning and for assessing student learning. Learning objectives, they are student assessment and lesson planning. How objectives relate to lesson content and activities? They need to understand the task, learn the vocabulary they will need if they don't know it already, hear the pronunciation of any new words and practice pronouncing them, and combine the new words to the language they already know to make sentences. And the last, practice saying their new sentences in pairs, lots of time. And before I explain about relate to lesson, content, and activity, and now I will explain about how the learning objectives relate to assessment. If we want to assess their learning, we need to give them a task to do so that they can demonstrate their learning. And we need to assess how well students have learned what we want them to learn. As you can see, the learning objective determines what you will do and what you will have your students do during the lesson.
Okay, my name is Lasmi Utami and I will handle the next part about evaluating strategy. Strategic evaluation is defined as the process of determining the effectiveness of a given strategy in achieving the organizational objectives and taking corrective action wherever required. The key strategy evaluation activities are examining the underlying basis of a firm's strategies, comparing actual results with expected results, and taking remedial or corrective action. Nature of evaluating strategies. Nature of strategic evaluation and control process is to test the effectiveness of strategy. Evaluating strategy is operate at two levels, which are strategic control and operational control. At strategic level, we are concerned more about the consistency of strategy with the effort is given towards assessing how well the organization is pursuing a given strategy. Next, why evaluating strategy is important? It is because strategy evaluation can help to assess whether decision match the intended strategy requirement. Evaluation strategy helps to keep check on the validity of strategic choice and etc. Process of strategic evaluation. First, fixing benchmark of performance. While fixing the benchmark, strategists encounter questions such as what benchmarks to set, how to set them, and how to express them. Second, measurement of performance. The standard performance is a benchmark with the actual performance is to compare, and the repairing and communication system help measuring the performance. Third, analyzing variance. The strategist must mention the degree of tolerance limit between which the variance between actual and standard performance may be accepted. And fourth, taking corrective action. Once the deviation in performance is identified, it is essential to plan for corrective action. Barriers in evaluation. There are 4 barriers in evaluation, which are limits of control, difficulties in measurement, resistance to evaluation, and rely on short-term implication of activities. Next, there are 4 criteria for evaluating strategies, which are 1. Consistency. Consistency is a strategy should not present inconsistent goals and policies. 2. Consonance. It refers to the need for strategies to examine sets of trends. 3. Feasibility. Feasibility, that is, can the strategy be attempted within the physical, human, and financial resources of the enterprise. And the last is advantage. The strategy must provide for the creation and/or maintenance of a competitive advantage. Techniques of strategic evaluation. First, gap analysis. The gap analysis is used to evaluate a variety of aspects of business, from profits and production to marketing, research and development, and management information system. Second, SWOT analysis. This identification is essential in determining how best to focus resources to take advantage of strengths and opportunities and combat weakness and threats. Third, benchmarking. Organizations may benchmark themselves against other organizations within the same industry, or they may benchmark themselves against their own prior situation. Fourth, PERT and CPM. The Program Evaluation Review Techniques, or PERT, and Critical Path Methods, or CPM, were developed in order to plan and control activities. Okay, that's all about evaluating strategies. I hope you understand what I've explained, and the next part will handled by Nabila Qurrotaaini about collecting data.
Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. My name is Nabila Qurrotaaini. I'm from PD Awan 2018. Now I will continue our material about collecting data. Okay, collecting data. First, we must know what is collecting data. Collecting data is a term used to describe a process of preparing and data collection to obtain information and to keep on record about important issues and to pass information to others. And then the other definition of collecting data is the process of collecting and to get information on the subject to be tested in this systematic way. This allow a person that to answer question. And then next slide is the collecting data is broadly classified into 2 categories. These are first, primary data and secondary data. Okay, first, primary data. Primary data is that has been collected the people who is going to use them, and while for secondary data is that data that has already been collected by someone else. To collect from website, database, research, observation, and so on. And then next, in this slide, we will look at 4 different methods of collecting data. These are first, direct observation. Direct observation is this means recording down the behavior patterns of people. And second is questionnaire. Questionnaire is a set of questions designed to obtain data. And then after that, question divided into 2 categories. First is open question, and the second is closed question. And then the third is survey. Survey is the collection data from a given population. The main method in a survey are interview, data logging, questionnaire, and so on. And then the last is experience. Experience is by doing someone experience, it can help collected data. And then the last slide is use of collecting data. First is improving your understanding. That means is to get to know your student and so on, to understand that information you give with there. And then the second is identify area for improvement. That means collecting data can help you see what is your company is doing well. And then the third is predicting future patterns. Predicting future pattern is analyze the data your college or your company can help you predict future trend, and you can prepare for your new idea. And then the last use of collecting data is better personalizing your content and messaging. Okay, that means you can use this collecting data to interest and preferences. Okay, that's all for my explanation. The next material will be explained by Nabila Ramadani. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Nabila Ramadani. I'm from group 2. Okay, today I will continue the presentation from Nabila Qurrotaaini, and my material is analyzing data. Analyzing data. What do we mean by analyzing data? Analyzing data. Analyzing information involves examining it in ways that reveal the relationship, patterns, trends, etc. that can be found within it. That may mean subjecting it to statistical operations that can tell you not only what kinds of relationships seems to exist among variables, but also to what level you can trust the answers you're getting. It may mean comparing your information to that from other groups, or a control or comparison group, statewide figures, etc., to help draw some conclusion from the data. Okay, next. There are 2 kinds of data you're up to be working with, although not all evaluations will necessarily include both. First is quantitative data, and second qualitative data. Okay, next, quantitative data refer to the information that is collected as or can be translated into numbers, which can then be displayed and analyzed mathematically. Okay, next, quantitative data are typically collected directly as numbers. Some examples include: first, the frequency, rate, duration of specific behaviors or conditions. Second, test scores, or example scores or levels of knowledge, skill, etc. And third, survey results. For example, reported behavior or outcomes, environmental. And the last is numbers or percentage of people with certain characteristics in a population, and diagnosed with diabetes, unemployed, Spanish speaking, etc. Okay, next is qualitative data. Qualitative data are collected as descriptions, anecdotes, opinions, quotes, interpretations, etc., and are generally either not able to be reduced to numbers or are considered more valuable or informative if left as narratives. Oh yeah, quantitative data before. Data can also be collected in forms other than numbers and turned into quantitative data for analysis. And quantitative data is usually subjected to statistical procedures such as calculating the mean of average number of times an event or behavior occurs per day, month, and year. Okay, next is okay, back to the qualitative data. Qualitative data can sometimes be changed into numbers, usually by counting the number of times specific things occur in the course of observations or interviews, or by assigning numbers or ratings to dimensions, etc. Importance as satisfaction is obvious, and qualitative data can sometimes tell you things that quantitative data can. It may reveal why certain methods are working or not working, whether part of what you're doing conflicts with participants' culture, what participants see as important. Okay, next. And another way analysis can be accomplished is by professionals or other trained individuals, depending upon the nature of the data to be analyzed, the methods of analysis, and the level of sophistication aimed at in the conclusions. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.